Hi Teens 5. This video belongs to class number 13, in which once again we're going to be making a revision. First of all, we're going to revise English articles, which it was something that when we saw it on class 5 or 6, I don't remember, I think it wasn't very clear, so I'm going to explain it again. There is yet another explanation on the class for you to check out, and this video will be about that. What's an English article and how we use it. So the first thing I would like to explain is the difference between nouns. Okay, so first of all, what is a noun? A noun is a thing, a person, an object or a name, okay? Un noun es un sustantivo, okay? Una cosa, un nombre, una persona, un edificio, etc. So, first of all, we have proper nouns. Proper nouns are what we call in Spanish sustantivos propios, and these are names of places, people, streets, restaurants, magazines, whatever it is, okay? So that's a proper noun. Then we have uncountable nouns. When we talk about uncountable nouns in English, we are talking about those things we cannot count, such as liquids. Sometimes we talk about some types of food that we can't count. And the important thing about these nouns is that they don't have a singular or a plural. Take the word coffee, for example, which is an uncountable noun. I can't say I want a coffee or I want two coffees. The plural form coffees doesn't exist because I cannot count it. I could count coffee if I put it into cups. So for example, I could say 1 cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee. But an uncountable noun such as coffee or water or milk or salt is a noun that I can't count, so there is no plural or singular. Como no lo puedo contar, no hay plural o singular. Then we have, of course, plural nouns, okay, when there is more than one thing. So, for example, the plural form of marker is markers. Remember that there are certain plural nouns in English that are irregular, such as a person to people or a child to children, okay? But plural nouns are basically that. And then we have, of course, singular nouns when there is only one thing. A girl, a boy, a marker, a person, whatever it is. Then, what's an article? Para que se den una idea, los artículos en español son un, una, unos, unas, los, las, el, la. In English, that is much simpler because we only have 2 articles in English, a and de, because we don't distinguish, we don't make any difference between gender, entre femenino, masculino, or we do make a small difference in number. Nosotros tenemos el, los, la, las, but in English that doesn't exist because we don't distinguish between gender. No distinguimos de femenino y masculino. So as I was saying, there are only 2 articles in English. And we have to remember that articles always come before a noun. So always article plus noun. So for example, we're going to say a ball or the kids. Okay. Now the problem is when to use each of these articles. When to use a, when to use the, or when to use nothing. Because in English, many times we don't need an article at all. So let's see the different cases. So let's begin with the easiest one, in my opinion, which is an and. So remember that we have 2 versions of this one, not because they are different, but because a is always followed by a consonant and an is always followed by a vowel, por una vocal. No es que sean diferentes, sino que son 2 versiones de lo mismo. A, uno, un. So it's always for singular countable nouns because as a means un or una, we can only talk about things that are singular and that we can count. So I'm going to give you some examples, of course. Give me a piece of cake. She sang a beautiful song. It was an exciting day. You have to remember, of course, that and we use it when the noun that we are talking about is not specific. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Usamos a o an, si hay vocal, cuando el sustantivo que estamos mencionando no es una cosa en específico, sino es cualquiera. If I tell you, give me a piece of cake, I am not pointing to one piece in particular, but I want any piece of cake, cualquier pedazo de torta. No estoy apuntando a uno en específico. That's why it is unspecific or indefinite, indefinido. Then we have the very well-known, very famous article the. The is always followed by a noun as any article, and it is for one thing or many things in particular. So we have singular and plural forms, okay? De es tanto para singulares y plurales, para una cosa o muchas cosas. But when we use the, we are always talking about something in particular, okay? Una cosa en particular, ¿sí? Let's see some examples. I bought a bike, una bici cualquiera. Then, como ya la mencioné y ya sé de qué estoy hablando, voy a decir the bike, porque es esa bici y no otra. The bike is green. The students at Mainspring are great. No son cualquier students, son the students at Mainspring. I'm being specific. I'm talking about some students in specifically, okay? The students at Mainspring. The sun is shining. Look at this. ¿Hay muchos soles? No, there is only one sun. So because it is a specific reference, I use the sun, okay? It's the same thing with the moon. No hay muchas lunas, hay una sola en particular. So the moon, the stars, the sun, the weather. Good. Then there are some situations in which we don't need an article at all. Those are the cases in which we can use nothing, donde ponemos una rayita en el ejercicio, donde no necesitamos nada. When don't we need an article? When we're talking about things in general. Before names, we don't put anything. Before some plural and before some uncountable nouns. So let's see some examples. People believe. In this case, I don't say the people because I'm talking about all people in general. So because it is a general, I am not pointing to one group of people. Estoy hablando de gente en general, no de un grupo de personas. I can use the plural noun without the. Milk is good. In this case, I have an uncountable noun, milk, un líquido. So, because I'm not talking about some milk in particular, I'm talking about milk in general, I can use the noun without anything in front of it. I love kids, plural noun. Because I like kids in general, I don't say I love the kids, porque no son los chicos estos nada más y no otros. I like all the kids, so because it is in general, I can use the plural noun without the. We are students. Because I'm not being specific on which kind of students we are. No estoy diciendo ni de dónde somos, ni cómo somos, no estoy diciendo nada en particular, sino que solamente estoy diciendo que somos estudiantes. In general, we can use the plural noun without any article in front of it. Alright, this is a very general explanation. I hope it helps. But for this topic, you need to read the theory I included on class 13 because it's going to make it much easier for you to deal with the examples. Now, if you have any questions, include them in your class and I will be trying to help you. Alright, that's it. I hope this video helps you and see you next time. Bye!